special day to recognize the importance of all the mothers in our lives. I often say, and don't probably communicate enough, is that all the mothers are such a backbone in the lives of everyone around them, and everyone depends on them so much, not only for their material sustenance, but also for spiritual. So we we are very, very grateful and honored to have Her Grace Radhabhav Mataji here today. I believe that her video is not yet working, so she's trying to get that fixed. But in the meantime, what we can also do is I see a lot of other devotees who have joined from outside of Round Rock, Austin area. His Grace Amarendra Prabhu, first and foremost, thank you so much for being here, as well as Arjun Saka Prabhu and other devotees from Atlanta congregation. So thank you all very much for being here. We have a very special speaker, Her Grace Radhabhav Mataji. She's a practicing physician, and she's also disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, wife of our very, very dear His Grace Adi Gadadhar Prabhu. Both of them have two wonderful children, Gopal and Maithili. They have been here to Austin in the past, and oftentimes Adi Gadadhar Prabhu has been a speaker at our congregational events that have been taking place over the last year via Zoom. So we are very honored to have Mataji here. Mataji is also a representative of North American Vaishnav Ministry based out in Atlanta, and is an inspiration to many, many devotees in the local congregation and beyond. I have firsthand witnessed that myself when I was in Atlanta last summer. That she has such an ornate ability to communicate the glories of Srimati Radharani that attracts everyone's love and attention as part of that devotee congregation over there. So we are very, very fortunate to have her here. I'm not sure if Mataji's video has been fixed. While it is being fixed or it is fixed, I will ask Mataji to see if she can be. Is she a co-host now? Okay.
I made her co-host.
Okay. So let's see. Radhabhav Mataji, I don't see your camera on yet.
I think
so hopefully
the two different Radhabhav Matajis here, so I'm going to make the second Radhabhav Mataji the co-host there, and we'll spotlight her. Here we go.
Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining.
Prabhuji, I'm sorry for the inconvenience. My video is not working, so I'm having to start my video on the phone, and I'm on the laptop with my slide presentation. So that's why we have two different Radhabhav Matajis there.
That's fine. You should be able to share.
Okay, ma'am. All right. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna. I'll start with the invocation prayer. Om Adnyantimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayan Vadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Gurun Sagrajata Sahagana Lalit Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So Hare Krishna everyone. Thank you for inviting me here, Ram Vijay Prabhu. Today is Mother's Day according to Gregorian calendar, and I'm very grateful that I'm able to serve this topic of Matra Bhakta Shiromani on the day of Mother's Day. I feel very unqualified to speak here today, but because I have been asked to do this service, I will do this as a service to all the Vaishnavas. So today we will start our discussion about Matra Bhakta Shiromani. It is a Mother's Day special, and we'll start with taking a cross section through the Srimad Bhagavatam, where we will discuss the different lessons which we learn in different cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam and then Chaitanya Charitamrit about the position of a mother, the spiritual position of a mother, the importance of a mother from a spiritual point of view. And of course, Matra Bhakta Shiromani is something that will be discussed towards the end. There's a little suspense to it, which will unfold towards the end as we go through the presentation. So, to start with, we will start with the famous shloka which everybody knows. Adau Mata Guru Patni Brahmani Raja Patnika Dhenur Dhatri Tatha Prithvi Saptaita Matraha Smritaha. From Niti Shastras, it is stated that our mothers are these 7 mothers. One is the mother of a guru, mother of a brahmana, the queen is also our mother, the nurse who nurses us or nanny who takes care of us is also our mother, the cow is also our mother, and Mother Earth is also our mother. And most important is the mother who brings us into this world is also our mother. So this is what the shloka explains. So let us dive into Canto 1 and let us see what Canto 1 says. So this is a very beautiful picture where we see Mother Devaki, and she's pregnant here in the prison of Mathura, and we see that when Krishna was born in the prison and then he was transported to Vrindavan, and from there he was brought back to Mathura after he killed Kamsa, and then he entered Dwaraka after he won over Kamsa. He entered Dwaraka, and when he was entering Dwaraka, there are very beautiful shloka here which mentions that after entering his father's home, the main home, what he did was he was visualizing his 18 mothers. He had 18 mothers. Devaki, Rohini was one of them. But Pramukha, that means the most important, the one who gave birth to him, was Mother Devaki. So he first offered his obeisances by placing his head at the lotus feet of Devaki, and then he offered his obeisances to all the other 17 mothers. So there Krishna is, the lesson we learn from this is that we should offer our obeisances to our mother and mothers by giving them respect and greeting them with obedience and with respect. Then coming to the second canto. So in the second canto, it is here Prabhupada gives in the purport that just like a child plays on the lap of his mother, he's very attached to his mother. He plays, with his mother. Then as he grows up, he becomes attached to different things. He becomes attached to toys. He becomes attached to let's say bicycles. Then he becomes attached to his friends as he grows up. Then his wife. Then his children. And then he moves on. And then gradually his attachment from his mother decreases, and he gets attached to the other things that are presently and currently in his life. But we see that a mother never forgets his child. She selflessly loves the child, and she's always thinking good of him. Similarly, because we are all parts and parcels of Krishna, we take birth into this world, and when we are in the womb of a mother, we always promise. It is said that the child promises the Lord that in this life I will try to pray to you, attain you, and go back to God and after this life. But when we come out into this world, we forget our identity with the Lord, and then we start enjoying in this material world, and then with all those relations we develop, we get attached to them and we forget Krishna. So this is what is explained in the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then comes another purport which Srila Prabhupada has explained in the second canto. Just like when a child, he sees the moon and he wants the moon, and he starts crying thinking that it's a toy, and he tells his mom that I want the moon, I want the moon. So the mother realizes that she can't give him the moon. So what does she do? She gives him a mirror, and in the mirror the child sees the reflection of the moon, and when the child sees the reflection of the moon, he tries to catch the moon, and he realizes that he's not able to catch the moon. So he gets upset, he gets angry, and he throws away the mirror, and then he goes and actually starts crying and asking for the mother, and he goes and hugs the mother, and he's happy that he's finally with the mother. Similarly, Prabhupada says that Krishna gives us this material world as the mirror, and the moon of happiness which gets reflected in this mirror is what we find happiness in this material world. We try to find happiness in this mirror of material world, and we try to get ourselves attached. We try all means to be happy in this material world, but we are not able to find the actual happiness. Then eventually we throw that mirror of material world and we take shelter of Krishna. So this is what we learn from the second canto. This is what Prabhupada has explained. Now the other mother is also explained in Canto 2, that scriptures are our mothers. Now this is very interesting. Just like, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that I am the seed-giving father. But how do we recognize that he is our seed-giving father? Only the mother can recognize who the father is. Similarly, only the Vedas can present to us who the actual Lord is, who is our father. So, the scriptures are our mothers, and these scriptures have been presented to us by Brahma, Narada or Shiva, and they are the only authority who will inform us about our real father. So the absolute truth can be recognized only through scriptures, and then scriptures will tell us through the different scriptures we learn that what is discipline, and then scriptures can chastise us, like the Bhagavatam tells us the different hells we can go to when we don't follow the rules and regulations, the happiness which we can attain by praying to Krishna, and it guides us very nicely. So scriptures are also our mothers. Then the next we come to is second canto also talks about Mother Earth and Mother Ganga. So Ganga and Mother Earth are also our mothers. So Earth, the earth gives us shelter. We live, we make our houses on this earth. We get fruits, flowers, trees. So the Mother Earth provides us everything that is required for us to stay here happily, safely. But how do we treat Mother Earth? We trash her, we break down trees. So we don't take care of mother properly. So it is our duty to protect Mother Earth and to save this earth and take care of it properly. Then also Mother Ganga. How is Mother Ganga our mother? So just like when a child is born, we pass urine, we pass stool, and our mother very lovingly cleans our diapers, cleans us. When we make mistakes, our mother forgives us, she teaches us. Similarly, when we go and take a bath in Mother Ganga, we get purified. So Mother Ganga purifies us of all the sins, takes away all our sins, and in return, she presents us to the Lord. So that is the role of Mother Ganga. So how do we reciprocate with Mother Ganga? My spiritual master has mentioned in one of his lectures that he used to offer the Ganga water back to the Ganga as an offering, because that is all we can do. We can never repay our mothers, because they have done so much for us. This is one debt which is very difficult to repay, is our debt to our mothers. So just taking water and offering it to the Ganga back is one of the ways to repay Mother Ganga back. So this is what we learned from Canto 2. Coming to Canto 3. So in Canto 3, here Prabhupada has described the phrase Mataram Mata Vatsalaha. Now here Lord Kapila is the son of Devahuti, and here it is shown how lovingly he is listening to his mother. So he listens to whatever the mother is saying, he is listening very carefully, he is paying attention, and very affectionately he stayed all the way at Bindu Sarovar just for her. So he's displaying very good manners and showing us that as the Lord, he is doing his duty and serving her by paying good attention to her. So, what do we do when we are talking to our mothers sometimes. Nowadays, everybody is away from our mothers, all the elders. We are talking to her on the phone and we are doing a lot of other things. We are listening to her also, then we are cooking also, then simultaneously we are seeing text messages. That's not good manners, because that is not what the Lord has exemplified. So, like Kapil Dev, he heard Mother Devahuti very carefully. Similarly, we should also give good amount of time and affection to the mother and hear her out carefully. These are good manners for reciprocation. Then also again, Matuhu Priya Chikirshaya. That means when Kardama Muni left for the forest, Kapila stayed there at Bindu Sarovar and he instructed his mother about the Supreme Lord. So it is a duty of the grown children to take charge of their mother and serve them to the best of their ability. So this is something we learn from Canto 3. Coming to Canto 4. Are all of y'all able to see the slides?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes,
We can.
Mataji.
Okay. So coming to Canto 4. So Canto 4 talks about Druva Marriage. Coming to Druva Marriage. So when Druva Marriage, he went to the forest for 6 months. He did very ghor tapasya. And after that, he realized God. And Krishna came and gave him darshan. And then he was going back to Godhead. So when he was going back to Godhead, he actually remembered that it was only because of the instructions of my mother that she instructed me to go to the forest and she instructed me to pray to the Lord. So only because of her have I realized God. So she was the initial Shiksha Guru for him. So he never forgot this. When it was time for him to go back to Godhead, he remembered his mother and he said, I cannot go home back to Godhead without his mother. So he remembered Mother Suniti, and as an obligation, he took her back to Godhead with him. So we have to remember, however great we are, there's a lesson from here, however great we are, we get this body from our mothers, and we should never forget them when we are making any progress in any path, spiritual or material. Always remember her, pray to her, take her blessings, and move ahead. Srila Prabhupada says that like Suniti, Mother Suniti, when she realized that Dhruva was returning back to the kingdom after realizing God, he was coming back to the kingdom. Suniti was being taken in a palanquin from her home to the main kingdom. So when Suniti was being taken, she actually remembered Suruchi and Uttam. She did not forget them. So Prabhupada says here that a mother is very compassionate. Even though Druva Maharaj was punished by Suruchi with harsh words, and she had to stay away from him, and because Dhruv had to suffer so much, but she was very compassionate because she had the heart of a mother. So when she was being taken on a palanquin, she also took Suruchi and Uttam with her. So Prabhupada says that this is a very classic example um, of a tree who tolerates. So Vaishnavas are supposed to be like trees who tolerate. So Mother Suniti tolerated like a tree. So typically, what is a tree who tolerates? Suppose we take a stone and throw it at a tree. What will happen? It will only give us the best, which is a fruit. The commodity which will come out is a fruit. So a tolerant tree will tolerate, and instead of taking revenge, will give us fruits in return. So this is what Suniti did. With her, she took Suruchi and Uttam, and then they all went to the kingdom. The position of Suniti is very important. Now coming to Canto 5. So this is very important, dear friends, for all to be mothers, for all people who are going to get married and dream of having children. There is a responsibility which every mother and father have. So it is said, Pita na sa sajya, janani na sa syat. That means one should not become a mother or one should not become a father if they cannot deliver the child from the cycle of repeated birth and death. So this is something very important. We have to give them 100% Krishna consciousness. Whatever we have, we should impart to them. but also we also realize that the children come with their own karmas. That is a completely different story, but from our end we have to completely give them 100% Krishna consciousness to the best of our ability. So now coming to Canto 6. So Mother Parvati. Now this purport is from second canto, but this I've compiled that second canto purport here because this is also mentioned in the sixth canto. It is said that this material world is our mother. So this whole material world is called Bhava Sagar, and Bhava means Shiva and Bhavani means Parvati. So this material nature is called the mother, and Lord Shiva is our father, and Mother Parvati is also our main mother. So of this material world, we have to remember mother and father of our material world are Shiva and Mother Parvati. So coming to Mother Parvati, there's a very interesting story in Canto 6 where Maharaj Chitraketu, he was the son of Mother Parvati and he was returning back to Godhead. And while he was returning back to Godhead, he saw Shivji and Mother Parvati sitting, and Shivji was addressing a group of renunciates. All sages were sitting there, and for all the renunciates, we know Shivji is also a renunciate. And he was addressing the assembly, and Mother Parvati was seated on his lap. And so, when Chitraketu was passing through on his way back to Godhead, he mentally, he was in a joking way, he said, oh, look at the biggest renunciate, he's sitting with his wife on the lap. And this was not taken very well by his mother, Parvati. She said, oh, he is going back to Godhead and he's puffed up now. So, I must teach him a lesson. So she cursed him. She cursed him that he should be born in a family of demons and fall down. So, and then he fell down, took birth as Vritrasur, and that was the punishment that Parvati gave him. So just like a naughty child is chastised by the mother, Parvati chastised her own son. But we have to also see what happened ahead. Chitraketu had the power to counter curse because he was going back to Godhead, but he didn't do it. What did he do? He had unconditional obedience to his mother, and he just accepted the curse with folded hands, and he said, oh my Mother Parvati, I accept whatever punishment you have given to me. So the duty of our mother is to chastise and discipline whenever it is required. You should not have blind affection for the children, but you should have guided affection instead. So this is something what we learn from Mother Parvati. Then coming to 6th canto again, there's a very nice shloka. It says, Vishnu Patni Mahamaye Mahapurusha Lakshane Priyatha me Mahabhage Lokamatar Namostute. Here it is said that the Patni of the Vishnu is Mahamaya. The Vishnu Patni, it is explained here that Vishnu and Lakshmi are our spiritual mothers and fathers. But our material mothers and fathers are Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati. So I offer my obeisances to my spiritual mother and spiritual father, that is Lakshmi and Vishnu. This is what the shloka means. Lokamata Namostute. Now coming to Canto 7. Now this is very interesting. Now let's discuss Canto 7 is Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu here is the demon, but he also knows the position of his mother. So when Hiranyaksha, his brother, was killed, his entire family was crying. His mother was crying, wife was crying, children were crying. So Hiranyakashipu was trying to pacify all of them. And then he started by saying, Amba, Amba, He Vadhu Putra. So he said, oh mother, oh my mother. He addressed the mother first, and then he addresses the wife, Vadhu, and then the Putra. So he also knows that first you have to address the mother because she is the... Yeah, and he says it twice, not once. He says the word Amba, Amba twice. So he also understands the importance of a mother. So being a demon, he also has idea about giving importance to a mother. Now also here coming in Canto 7 we have Prahlad. So we know that Narad Muni instructed Prahlad in the womb of his mother Kayadu, and Kayadu at that time was in the ashram of Narad Muni. Similarly, um, when Narad Muni spoke the Srimad Bhagavatam to Prahlad, he was in the ashram of the womb of his mother. And there Krishna gave him full protection. Krishna gave him all the nourishment. He simply had to sit there and listen to Srimad Bhagavatam, and Prahlad Maharaj, like a small child, he was being cared for by Govinda. So this is also eternal affection by the Lord displayed towards Prahlad. So this is also something what we learn from Canto 7. Now coming to Canto 8. Canto 8, from Canto 8 we learn from Mother Aditi. Mother Aditi is the mother of Vamanadev. So, you know, when Indra lost his abode, he lost all his kingdom, Aditi wanted a son who was the supreme personality of Godhead, who would win over everything. So she went to Kashyap Muni and she asked him. So Kashyap Muni told her to do the Payovrata. What is Payovrata? It was a vrata where you sustain on only milk for a certain amount of days. And by doing so, she was able to attain Vamana. And this is how, this is an example of austerity which a mother displays. So a mother is supposed to be austere, and that is how she will be able to give good values to the child. So Canto 8, Mother Aditi displays austerity as one of the characteristics of a mother. Also, when Vaman was born, the first alms given to Vaman were by Mother Parvati, who is the original mother of the material world. So, similarly, when we are born in this world, we get our as babies, our first alms comes from our mother. So, we have to realize this and be very grateful about this. Now coming to Mother Earth. In Canto 8, there is a very nice shloka which we all can recite, memorize, and say it. It's Tvam Devi Adi Varahena Rasayah Sthanam Icchata Utritasi Namastubhyam Papamanam Me Pranashya Pranashya Pranashaya. It means, what does it mean? That it is a prayer to Mother Earth, that just like, O Mother Earth, you have been uplifted by Varahadev. Please uplift my consciousness and place it in the right place so that I may be able to remember Krishna and I am in the right place of honor. So this is a very nice prayer we can pray to Mother Earth from the 8th canto. There is another prayer in the 8th canto which, sorry, this is not in the 8th canto. This is another prayer which we can also recite. It is to be recited first thing in the morning before we place our feet on Mother Earth. It says like this, that O Mother Earth, who has the ocean as clothes and mountains and forests on her body, who is the wife of Lord Vishnu, I bow down before you. Please forgive me for touching you with my feet. So it's Samudra Vasane Devi Parvata Stana Mandale Vishnu Patni Namastubhyam Padasparsham Kshamasva Me. So you ask for forgiveness from Mother Earth because every day you place your feet, and we have already seen in the previous canto that Mother Earth is our mother. So we are placing our feet on her. So we ask for forgiveness the first thing in the morning as soon as before we step on her. Next we come to Canto 8 again. So it is given in the 8th canto that there is nothing more sinful than being untruthful. So she can bear all the weight, but she cannot bear the weight of somebody who is a liar. So we have to be very careful and save the Mother Earth from this burden. Coming to Canto 9. So there's a very nice story in Canto 9 about Parshuram and his mother Renuka. So once Renuka, the mother of Parshuram, she was going to the river there, and she was filling water, and there she happened to see a Gandharva, and the Gandharva was called Chitraratha, and he was very beautiful, and he was sporting there with some people. So in her mind she was attracted to him, and but she did not pursue the act. She was just attracted to him mentally. And then after that she went home, and when she went home, her husband Jamadagni, who was a mystic, he was a sage, he realized that mentally she had contaminated herself. So he asked Parshuram to reject her. So the lesson we learn from this is, it is duty of a mother to be chaste to her husband. This is a very nice lesson in Canto 9. Coming to Canto 10. Here in Canto 10, we see that Krishna in this shloka, Swa Matuhu and Swa Bandhane. Krishna says that it is my own mother who, when Krishna was being bound by Mother Yashoda, initially he was not getting bound, but later on he allowed himself to be bound. Why? Because it was his own mother. So Krishna allows himself to be bound by his own mother. And then it is also stated here that in this shloka, that virincho na bhavo na shri. So virincho means Vishnu, bhava or bhava means Shivji, and Sri is Lakshmi. He is not it's very hard for him to get bound even by Vishnu, Brahma, or Shiva or Lakshmi, but he allows his own mother, Swaya means Swa, his own. So he is allowing Mother Yashoda to bind him because it is his own mother. So this is what we learn from Canto 10. Also, I'm going to read this very nice purport by Srila Prabhupada. When, Krishna, thereafter Maharaj Parikshit, as required, according to scheduled rounds of his pastimes, Krishna returned in the evening, entered the house of each of the cowherd boys, and engaged exactly like the former boys, thus enlivening their mother with transcendental pleasure. The mothers took care of the boys by massaging them with oils, bathing them, smearing their bodies with sandalwood pulp, decorating them with ornaments, chanting protective mantras, decorating their bodies with tilak, and giving them food. In this way, the mothers served Krishna personally. So this is a wonderful example of how the mothers are serving, even in Vrindavan, their children, and they are being provided with so much affection and love. Now coming to forgiveness. Now we all know that Brahma committed the great mistake of hiding the cowherd boys and the calves. He hid both of them, and that really angered Krishna, and there was no way he was going to be forgiven. But he took shelter of mother cow. He took shelter of mother cow. Sorry. He took shelter of mother cow. He prayed to mother cow, and then he and Indra both actually took shelter of mother cow, and Surabhi and Krishna forgave them. So we see the cow is also our mother, and here we can see, the 33 crore demigods, they reside in the cows. We can use the cows various products. Almost everything the cow gives out is used by us in some way or the other. Cow urine purifies, the cow dung is used. So the cow is also our mother, and we can also take shelter of the cow, just like Indra did. Now coming to Canto 10. So when Balaram comes to Vrindavan, the Vraja Gopis, they are asking Balaram. So they are saying that, does Krishna remember his family members, especially his father and mother? So even before putting themselves, the Vraja Gopis are placing his mother. They also understand that the mother is very dear to Krishna. So they are asking him, do you think that he is remembering his father or mother? Do you think will he ever come back to see his mother? Again, they are referring to his mother. And does mighty armed Krishna remember the service we always did for him. So the Vraja Gopis also know how much love Krishna has, and they put the mother in prominence. Coming to Canto 11, the example may be given that in the early morning, here we are going to discuss about how Guru is our mother. So early morning, when our children go to school, we wake up the kids, and the kids, they don't want to go to school. Similarly, Guru is our mother and we are his children. So he wakes us up every day of his life. The Guru is reminding us that we have to go to the school of bhakti. We have to go to Gurukul. We have to take shelter of God, take ashram. So this is what a Guru teaches us by being our mother. So Guru is also our mother. Coming to Canto 12, that Canto 12, it is given that our mother is certainly very sacred. And every birth we have had different mothers and different fathers. But in this birth, Krishna Guru nahi mile bhaja hariye. That means janame janame sabe pita mata paye. In many, many different births, we have had different mothers and fathers. But Krishna and Guru are not available at every birth. So when we get Krishna and Guru, we must take to them very seriously. Now coming to the mother of the mothers. So Krishna is our mother and our eternal, Krishna is our father and our eternal mother is Srimati Radharani. So if one takes shelter of Vrindavan under Vrindavaneshwari Srimati Radharani, certainly all the problems of his life are solved. So this is given in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4. Also, Raghunath Das Goswami, in his writing called Vilap Kusumanjali, he has mentioned two very beautiful verses. He refers to Srimati Radhika as Ambika. Amba means mother and Ka means soft-hearted. So he calls Radharani Ambika. So let's read and see. He says, "O beautiful one, when lovingly touching your forehead to my forehead, will you, the jubilant queen of Vraj, like a loving mother, ask me about my welfare?" So he is referring to Radharani as his loving mother. Raghunath Das Goswami is referring to Radharani as his loving mother. And in the next verse, he's saying, "O girl with a beautiful face," which is Srimati Radharani, "who is more affectionate than millions and trillions of mothers. When will I, seeing you happily take your meal at once, attain bliss in my heart?" So Raghunath Das Goswami is saying that Radharani is more affectionate than millions and trillions of mothers. Now coming to Chaitanya Charitamrita. Also here in Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu takes sannyas, so he is telling Srivas Pandit that take this prasadam, O Srivas Pandit, of Lord Jagannath and this cloth and deliver them to my mother, Shachi Mata. After offering her obeisances, please request her to excuse my offenses, because he has taken sannyas and he has left her alone and broken her heart. I have given up the service of my mother and have accepted the sannyas order. Actually, I should not have done this, for by doing so, I have destroyed my religious principles. So he has, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he is also realizing that he has broken the dharma by leaving his mother alone. But obviously, he's Supreme Personality of Godhead and she's the mother of the universe. We will come to that little suspense in the end. So Srivas Pandit, he's telling him, I am subordinate to the love of my mother. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling Srivas Pandit that I am subordinate to the love of my mother and it is my duty to serve her in return. Instead of doing so, I have accepted this renounced order of life. Certainly, this is an act of a madman. A mother is not offended by her mad son, and knowing this, my mother is not offended by me. I had no business in accepting the renounced order and sacrificing my love for my mother, which is my real property. Actually, I was in a crazy state of mind when I accepted sannyas. This is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling Srivas Pandit. So also, when he goes to Navadvip, even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that I have two mothers which are very merciful to me. And he says one is the Ganga and one is my own mother. And these are the deities of Yoga Pit of Mother Shachi and Jagannath Mishra. Also, we find that the dialogue between Sanatan Goswami and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He says that when a child passes stool and urine that touch the body of the mother never hates the child. On contrary, she takes much pleasure in cleaning him. The stool and urine of the maintained child appears like sandalwood pulp to mother. Similarly, when the foul moisture oozing from the source of Sanatan touches my body, I have no hatred for him. So this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling Sanatan Goswami. Sanatan Goswami is saying, "Oh Lord, don't embrace me. I have pus everywhere." But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "No, it is not at all dirty for me," and he embraces him. And just like a mother embraces a child, he embraced Sanatan Goswami. So, and also Damodar Pandit, he tells Damodar Pandit to go and tell Sachi Mata that offer my mother millions of obeisances. Speak to her about how happy I am and how well I'm doing, and give her this good news. So he wants to keep his mother happy. He doesn't want to let her become sad by knowing whatever difficulties he's undergoing. Also, Rupa Goswami talks about this very beautiful verse. He says, "May the Supreme Lord, who is known as the son of Sachi Mata, Sachi Devi, Srimati Sachi Devi, be transcendently situated in the innermost chambers of your heart. Resplendent with the radiance of molten gold, he has appeared in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no other incarnation has ever offered before. The most sublime and radiant mellow of devotional service, the mellow of conjugal love." So I wanted to specifically talk about the first line. Oh, sorry, ma'am. Yeah, here. So here I wanted to stress on the first line. It says, "May the Supreme Lord, who is known as the son of Sachi Mata, Sachi Devi, Srimati Sachi Devi, be transcendently situated in the innermost chambers of your heart." There's a very beautiful story in Chaitanya Charitamrita which I heard from Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj, which I would like to tell. It will not take more than 5 minutes. Fine time. So here what happens is, one day at Shantipur, Gaur Hari comes to Advaita Acharya's home, and there he comes and meets Mother Sachi. And after he comes there, Mother Sachi sees him and she becomes very overwhelmed. And then she starts pouring her heart out to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And she tells him, "Oh, you know what? I'm so unfortunate. My older son Vishwarup, he left me. And after that, you also left me. And both of you all have taken sannyas." And she says, "I must have performed such horrible sins in my past life that I have had this fate, that I don't have my children with me anymore. And I'm so unfortunate. I'm so fallen that I don't deserve to even live. But do you know that I can't even die, because dying is also so sinful. And because I can't even die, it is such a terrible situation for me that I'm suffering pangs of separation from my own child. So how misfortunate I am, how unfortunate I am. Everybody in this village must be thinking that she's so sinful, she's so condemned. Nobody will even want to come near me." So while she was speaking all these words, this was breaking the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Oh my dear mother, please don't break my heart. These words are breaking my heart. Please don't think like this. Please don't think that you're most unfortunate." And there he says that this is my vow and these are my words, and I promise that whoever chants this name called Shachi Nandana or Sachi Sutta will attain all the knowledge that one attains by reading all the Vedas and performing all religious sacrifices. Not only that, he says that anyone who chants these names continuously, constantly, Sachi Nandana and Sachi Sutta, they will be free from all the sins and all the aparads they have committed. Whoever does constant kirtan of this name, Sachinandana and Sachisuta, will attain Krishna Prem. What more? What more can we want? And then Rupa Goswami has then quoted this in his first line of this word, Anarpita Charim Chirat Karunaya Avatirnaha Kalau. And then he says, Sada Ridaye Kandare Spuratu Vaha Sachi Nandana. So this is the importance of the name Sachi Nandana or Sachi Sutta. So all of us, whenever you all get time, please do kirtan of the name Sachi Nandana. Pray to Mother Sachi, who is the mother of the entire universe. And Radha and Krishna, they have come together. Our eternal mother and father, they have come together, merged as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he is giving the eternal love, eternal prema to us just by chanting the names of Krishna and by chanting the name Sachi Nandana or Sachi Sutta. So this was the whole suspense about Matra Bhakta Shiromani. Vande Tam Krishna Chaitanyam Matra Bhakta Shiromani. Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most exalted of all devotees of mothers. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. And this is given in the Antya Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. निताय सच्चिनंदन की जय. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Radhabha Mataji. Such a wonderful journey. You took us through the entire Bhagavatam in less than an hour, which is with so many different references, which we can all relate to, especially on this day, and reminding us of all the mothers and the qualities and the sacrifices and the compassion and the tolerance that the mothers have in our lives. And it is a wonderful reminder, because oftentimes we tend to forget it on a day-to-day basis, and we take all the mothers for granted. And I'm sure I can speak to not just myself, but I think most of the Prabhus here probably would agree to that, right? We put things on the back burner. We take it for granted. We don't, like you mentioned that example of don't be on your Facebook or Snapchat or WhatsApp when you're talking. It's like, it's a constant reminder that we do so much multitasking, and we don't pay attention to the individuals we're speaking to, especially when it comes to the most important people around us in our lives, which are obviously the mothers and the daughters and the wives and everybody else around us. So thank you very much for that reminder. Dear devotees, if anybody has any questions, you can unmute and ask your questions at this time. Or you can also use the chat feature.
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji, Koti Dandvat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Wonderful class, Mataji, as usual. Ananta Koti Dandvat Pranam, Jai Jai Nityananda, Jai Jai Gauranga. All example given from Shri Bhagavatam, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Jai Nitai, God Premanande, Hari Hari Gauranga. Dandvat Pranam, Mataji.
The comment here from Gopal Chandra Prabhu. Thank you for the excellent class, Mataji. Very nicely bringing together the glorification of all the mothers from all the cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. Very simply, devotionally, and relishably presented, just like how a mother would do. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Happy Mother's Day. Dhanvat Pranam. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very inspired, very blissful. Thank you for all the services and blessing us, all the devotees, Mataji. Thank you.
Bye.
Hare Krishna, dear Radha Mataji. Thank you so much for the beautiful presentation about mother with reference to Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. Some of the lessons that you mentioned, I have practically seen you doing actually, because we live in Atlanta and I'm fortunate that we have your association. You, Adhika Prabhu, Amarendra Prabhu, Maithili and Gopal. So I have seen that, you have actually compromised. You had a good job, but you compromised in order to spend time with family. And I've seen you how you spend time with Maithili, taking her for music classes, although it's very austere to drive very far. But still, you drive, you take her for the music classes. I've seen you sit with her to help her practice for her singing exam. And you also help her in learning arts, her studies. And right from her childhood, I remember Maithili by-hearted her Damodar storybook while she was just 3 years old. So you read several spiritual stories for her right from her childhood. And she used to sing Ashtakams also very beautifully. And I've seen you chastise her as well when required. And I've seen you give lots of love as well. Thanks so much for being such a wonderful example for us, Mataji. Thank you again for the beautiful presentation. Hare Krishna. Done with Pranam.
There is a question in the chat by Seema Mataji that Mother Sita is referred as Mother Earth also. Is there any reference in Shastras for this?
I think you're on mute, Radha.
So Mother Sita is actually the daughter of Mother Earth. She's not Mother Earth. She's the daughter of Mother Earth. Mataji, does that answer your question?
Yes, Mataji, thank you so much, Mataji. Beautiful answer and very nice class, Mataji. Today's Mother's Day, so we all are writing big quotes, but you just quoted from the Shastras, so it was very relevant class today, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Lalita Madhvi has a question.
Happy Mother's Day. You had mentioned about guided, what was that? Was it sympathy or was it for our children?
Guided affection.
Guided affection versus blind affection. Can you elaborate a little bit when you say guided affection? Like maybe some example.
So guided affection will be, we teach the children according to Shastras. Whatever is given in Shastras, we use those principles to bring up our children. So that may require discipline at some point. So, with that, with scriptures comes discipline. At the same time, we can provide affection so that they listen to us. Just providing discipline will not help much. But if we incorporate a lot of love, give them, I heard from Radhanath Maharaj that when you have when you want to discipline a kid, you have to give them 100% love. And then out of that, when you start disciplining them, they will listen to you maybe 10%. So a lot of love has to be invested before we actually discipline them or ask them to do something so that they listen to you. So it's not like not like Dhritarashtra. Like Dhritarashtra was given blind love by his father. So we don't want to do that.
Thank you so
Sorry,
much.
Dhritarashtra was giving blind love to Duryodhan.
Yes.
So we don't want to do something like that and make Duryodhans out of our children. We want to, give them a lot of love and discipline them accordingly.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
There are a couple more questions. First one from Tarachand Prabhu and then Arjun Sakha Prabhu. Tarachand Prabhu is asking, he's saying, thank you so much for the class, Mataji. What prayer or repay we can do to our own mother who is no longer with us and has left her body?
I think, Prabhuji, the best prayer we can do for our parents who have left us is chant for them. Chanting is the best, according to me, chanting is the best prayer we can offer to Krishna on their behalf.
Thank you, Mataji. Arjun Sakha Prabhu has raised his hand as well.
Hare Krishna, Radhava Mataji. Thank you so much for such an excellent class. Thank you so much for taking us through a beautiful tour of the various cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam and also Chaitanya Charitamrita by keeping the central theme as Matra Bhakta Shiromani. And I don't have a question, but I want to take this opportunity to express my heartfelt gratitude to you, because I always tell this to my brother and also to my parents that I have a home in Mumbai, but if I have to think of a home away from Mumbai, it has to be Atlanta. I always feel that I am home, especially when I am around Adigadar, Prabhu, and yourself. You all take care of me so nicely, not just me, but also my brother. So I think I really want to express my gratitude to you, Mataji, and thank you once again for this very wonderful class on this theme, Matra Bhakti Shiromani. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Arjun Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
I'm speaking from Pune, India. Radhabha, thank you for the class. It was a wonderful class with so many references from Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This is my mother, Shweta Ganga Mataji from Pune. Mommy, wish you a very happy Mother's Day and thank you for everything you have done for me.
A very happy Mother's Day, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for being here.
Mataji,
Happy
koti
Mother's
koti
Day to you.
Hare Krishna.
Any other comments, questions? Okay. Once again, yes.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I want to thank you so much for the wonderful lesson and also just your wonderful association. You actually reached out to me and helped me in many times on a personal level. And I really, really am very grateful to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much, devotees. We'll have some announcements before we go to the next part of the program. So let me share my screen. Let's see if it shows up. Okay. All right. Once again, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers being here. The Mother's Day's meaning has been enhanced by such a wonderful class by Radhabhav Mataji's presentation and references from Shastra directly, which inspire us to go probably go take a further step in recognizing and communicating how much love and gratitude we have for all the mothers in our lives. So happy Mother's Day for everyone, especially those who are away from their mothers. They're not in the physical association of their mothers. So please do take time if you're able to connect with your moms today, whether it's via phone or message, video chats, or just prayer for them. So please do take a chance to connect with your mothers. We're also requesting prayers for His Grace Pankajangri Prabhu, who left us earlier this week. And those of you, many of you joined us on Friday night in his remembrance for our bhajans and kirtans dedicated to Pankajangri Prabhu. We're also requesting prayers for His Holiness Bibi Govinda Maharaj. Although Bibi Govinda Maharaj has tested negative for COVID now after a couple of weeks, however, the CAT scans of his lungs show some viral pneumonia infections. So he's going through some treatments for that. So please keep him in your prayers. We also continue to pray for our families and friends and devotees all around the world, and specifically in India, which has become the epicenter of COVID-19. And there's a lot of effort going on there to help, but it is still not a situation that is under control. So kindly keep everyone in your prayers. Specifically the members in our community who have been directly impacted by their relatives and family members who are suffering the impact of this coronavirus. Sukriti Mataji's father, Nija Mataji's cousin, Mahasundari Mataji's maternal grandmother, as well as Giridhar family who's in Chennai, mother of Manoj Prabhu who is recovering, mother of Omkar Prabhu who is going through treatments, mother of Haridas Swarya Prabhu who is recovering from her fall, and Gopal Chandra Prabhu as well. So all of the devotees, I request kindly, let's chant the Maha Mantra with all our heart for all these devotees and all the devotees around the world who are suffering, as well as others outside of our communities who are suffering because of COVID-19. Let's chant together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Once again, thank you, Radhabha Mataji, for the wonderful class today. Very enlivening, very inspiring, very motivational for us to go do something beyond than just wishing happy Mother's Day to each other. I would also like to thank our sponsors for the Sunday Feast program today, Krishna Chandra Prabhu and family. We also have special Akshaya Tritiya coming up on May 14th to make some great spiritual progress and contributions on that particular day. Devotees take vows and do various spiritual activities to enhance their own bhakti. We have daily japa sessions that go on every morning from 5:30 a.m. until 7 on Zoom Sangha. So all of you are welcome to join us in the morning for daily japa sessions. Our next Mangal Aarti coming up is on Saturday. And again, everything is remote, virtual. So please feel free to join us on May the 15th at 5:30 a.m. And you can reach out to us for various slots that are available for the Mangal Aarti program. Please either reach out to Sakshi Gaurang Prabhu, Kanai Gopal Prabhu, or Vaikuntesha Balaji Prabhu. There are various ways to keep in touch with us, whether it's through our WhatsApp group or our Facebook group or Instagram on YouTube. You can search for ISKCON of Round Rock or Round Rock ISKCON, and you can stay in touch with our various activities. Next, we will be chanting Narsingha Kavacham today, and this will be, again, as previous weeks, for joining all of us in prayers for the devotees and others who are suffering because of COVID-19. And we request everybody to stay and please chant the Narsingha Kavacham together. Today's Narsingha Kavach will be led by, I believe it is Ishan and Parul. Is that correct? Ishan, Parul, you there?
Hari Bol, Prabhuji, can you hear us?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. We'll get started. Narsimha Kavacham Bakshe Praladenooditam Pura Sarvaraksha-karam Punyam Sarva-Upadrava-Nashanam Sarva-Sampatkaram Svarga-Moksha-Pradayakam Dhyatva Narsimham Devesham Hema-Simhasanasitam Vivrittasyam Tirnayanam Sharat-Indu-Samaprabham Lakshmya-Lingita-Vamangam Vibhutibhir-Upashitam Chaturbhujam Komalangam Swarna-Kundala-Shobhitam Saroja-Shobhito Raksham Ratnakeyudritam Tapta-Kanchana-Sankasham Pita-Nirmala-Vasasam Indradi-Shuramaullishta Sfuran-Manikya-Deeptivi Virajita-Pada-Dvandvam Shankha-Chakradi-Hetivi Garudmata-Cha-Vinayat-Suryamanam Mudanvitam Swahrit-Kamala-Sambhasam Kritva Tu Kavacham Patet Narsimho Me Shirapatu Loka-Rakshata-Sambhava Sarva-Gopi-Sambhavasa Phalam Me Rakshatu Dhvanim Narsimho Me Disho Patu Soma-Surya-Nilochana Smritam Me Patu Nirhari Muni-Varya-Sruti-Priya Nasham Me Simha-Nashastu Mukham Lakshmi-Mukha-Priya Sarva-Vidyadipapatu Narsimho Rasanam Mama Vaktam Padvendu-Vadanam Sada Prahlada-Vandita Narsimha Patu Me Kantam Skandal Bhubrit Anantakrit Divyastra Shobhita Bhuja Narsimha Patu Me Bhujau Karo Me Deva Varado Narsimha Patu Sarvata Hridayam Yogi Sadhyasya Nivasam Patu Me Hari Madhyam Patu Hiranyaksha Vaksha Kukshi Vidarana Nabhim Me Patu Nirhari Swanabhi Brahma Samstuta Brahmanda Kotaya Katyam Yasya Patu Me Katim Guhyam Me Patu Guhyana Mantrana Guhya Rupadrik Uru Mano Bhava Patu Janani Nara Rupadrik Jange Patu Dhara Bhara Hatta Yosa Nirkeshari Suraraja Prada Patu Pado Me Nirharishwara Sahasra Shirsha Purusha Patu Me Sarva Shastanam Manogra Purvata Patu Mahavira Grajognita Mahavishnu Dakshinetu Mahajwalastu Nairata Pashime Patu Sarvesho Dishime Sarvatomukaha Nasimha Patu Vayavyam Samyam Bhushana Vigraha ईशान्यां पातु भद्रो मे सर्वमङ्गलदायक संसार भयता पातु मृत्युर्मृत्युर्नित्येश्वरी इदं नृसिंहकवचं प्रह्लादामुकमण्डितं भक्तिमान् यापते नैत्यं सर्वपापै प्रमुच्यते पुत्रवान् धनवान् लोके दीर्घायुरुपजायते यं यं कामयते कामं तं तं प्राप्नोति संशयम् सर्वत्र जयमाप्नोति सर्वत्र विजयी भवेत् भूम्यन्तरिक्ष दिव्यानां ग्रहाणां विनिवारणं वृश्चिको रागसम्भूता विशापहरणं परम् ब्रह्म राक्षस यक्षाणां दूरोत्सारणकारणं भुजे वा तलपात्रे वा कवचं लिखितं शुभं करमूलेधितं येन सिद्ध्येयुः कर्मसिद्धया देवासुरमनुष्येषु स्वं स्वम् एव जयं लभेत् एकसन्ध्यं त्रिसन्ध्यं वा यापठे नियतो नरः सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्यं भुक्तिं मुक्तिं च विन्दति द्वात्रिंशतिसहस्राणि पते चिदात्मनां नृणां कवचस्य मन्त्रस्य मन्त्रसिद्धिः प्रजायते अनेन मन्त्रराजेन कृत्वा भस्माभिर्मन्त्रणाम् तिलकं विन्यसेद्यस्तु तस्य ग्रहभयं हरेत् त्रिवारं जपमानस्तु ततं मन्त्रे च प्रसारेद्यो नरो मन्त्रं नरसिंहाध्यानमाचरेत् तस्य रोगप्रणश्यन्ति ये च शुकुक्षिसम्भवा गर्जयन्तं निजभुजपटलं स्फोटयन्तं हतन्तं रूपयन्तं तापयन्तं दिवि दिशं क्षेपयन्तं क्षिपन्तं क्रन्दन्तं रोषयन्तं दिशि दिशि सततं संहरन्तं भरन्तं वीक्षन्तं पूर्णयन्तं कर्णिकरशते दिव्यसिंहं नमामि इति श्रीब्रह्माण्डपुराणे प्रह्लादोक्तं श्रीनरसिंहकवचं सम्पूर्णम् हरि बोल. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Next, we will do Narsingha prayers, which will be led by Ryan.
Hare Krishna. Namaste Narasimhaya Praladadadahine Hiranyakashipu Vakshaha Shiladanakanakalare Ito Narsimho Bharado Narsimho Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsimho Bahi Narsimho Hridaye Narsimho Narasimhadim Sharanam Prapade Tava Karakamala Nakham Adbhuta Shringat Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubhrenya Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Narsimha Dev Jaya Narsimha Dev Jaya 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 Narsimha Dev Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya 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 Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev Gurudev Jaya 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 Gurudev Jaya Jaya Hari Bol Jaya 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 Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Nittai Gauranga Jaya Nittai Gauranga Jaya 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 Nittai Gauranga Jaya Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya 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 Krishna Balaram Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Ryan. And thank you very much, devotees, for being here. We truly appreciate your association. Some of the devotees were sending me messages where we can watch this class again by Her Grace Radha Bhav Mataji. The class is actually going to be available on our YouTube channel. If you go to just Google search YouTube ISKCON of Round Rock, and you'll be able to come to the page and subscribe and watch the class over there, as well as it's also streaming on Facebook. So if you are on our ISKCON of Round Rock Facebook page, you'll be able to go and see the recording